Welcome to WagerTalk Today, the gold standard of sports betting shows where we talk the talk, walk the walk. Today's show absolutely packed, and of course, breaking news that we will address and we will talk about, but we're going to bring in Gianni to break down the Steam report, get his thoughts on this. What a perfect day for Dave Mason to join us for BetOnline. Normally, we like to talk about where the sharp money is, and we're going to do that, but we got to ask him about this as well. Joe Raineri is going to be breaking down Thursday Night Football, and he's going to break down an NBA game. And we'll talk a little bit about the World Series Game 1, and I'm going to close it out with props for tonight's game and a breakdown on the Pacers and the Thunder. All right, guys, after this show, the Blitz is going to be at 1 o'clock live. Guys are going to be talking college football live, so stay tuned right after the show is over. Stay on the channel and talk college football. But here's what we know about the NBA and the investigation. I'm taking this from ESPN.com. I'm just going to read this verbatim. Apparently, this looks massive. Billups and Rozier were among a total of 34 people arrested. The arrests were a result of years-long investigation covering 11 states and involving tens of millions of dollars. Law enforcement officials said multiple charges involve 4 mafia families and organized crime networks and, quote, mind-boggling amounts of fraud. They also say Rozier was arrested Thursday morning, is accused of participating in an illegal sports betting scheme using private insider NBA information. U.S. Attorney for Eastern District of New York called it one of the most brazen sports corruption schemes since online sports betting became widely legalized. Chauncey Billups was arrested in Oregon. A wide-ranging scheme to rig underground poker games using technology to steal millions from victims just in the New York area, and former Cleveland Cavaliers player and assistant coach Damon Jones was among those arrested Thursday. He allegedly provided inside information about NBA games to co-defendants who used it to place sports bets. So that is what we know at this time. Let's bring in Gianni. Gianni, your thoughts, because I have something that happened this week that now I read this report. Now I'm going, well, what happened in this particular game? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Like, who didn't see this coming with the legalization of sports betting? This was going on before sports betting became so popular, before every other commercial on every sporting event we watch is brought to you by a sports book. Like, they're normal people like you and I. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like some aren't going to get caught up in betting. It's not like a lot of them weren't betting before. I mean, this isn't a surprise to me. And the money that's involved, you're going to be able to reach out to high-profile ex-athletes, coaches, people in the know, and get them working with betting syndicates. It's that simple. The information they have access to, coupled with the people that they have access to, their network, I mean, both sides. They could help bookmakers by giving you high-profile clients that bet a lot of money and lose. They can help betting syndicates by getting information that most aren't privy to. They have a network built from their career and doing nothing else. Like, if they're not the perfect candidate for this to happen to, nobody is. So if anybody's surprised, where have you been living for the last decade? I know, coming from Philadelphia, speaking when I was growing up, like hearing bookmakers knowing they were taking action from Philadelphia Phillies, from 76ers, from Eagle players, like, and you knew it wasn't rumors. It wasn't like some dude just bragging. Like, that stuff was happening. So of course it's happening.
So here's the just kind of the effects that we have. Okay, I'll give you a perfect example. This week we had a cricket series, 3 games between 2 teams. One team infinitely better everywhere. Game 1, a complete ass kicking, like mauled him, destroyed him, easiest cash you've ever had. Game 3, twice as bad. I killed him. And then they lost game 2 in a game that went to overtime, and you're going, well, what happened in game 2? How did this team that mauled this team 2 times in a row suddenly all of a sudden can't beat this completely inferior team? And then you see stories like this, and now that's where my head goes. Like, did we just get conned? Did we just get suckered into it? I'm not saying that that's what it was, but that's what stories do. This is a massive problem. It just sucks all the confidence that bettors have. I watched, like, I literally thought about this game that we lost the other night, and I'm like, maybe it is that easy to fix games. I hate to say it, but yes, the fix is in. Sometimes I would say it's about as rare as it gets, but these are the stories that get the most publicity, and then it gets blown out of proportion. But yeah, it does. It sucks. What a black eye on the league, man. You got a coach arrested, an assistant coach arrested for these teams. Oh no, NBA's got to be in free fall. So let's try and turn our attention.
Yeah, and real quickly, let's go on to today's action. I actually was interviewed for a book that it was written about game fixing, and this book documented actual fixes around the world. It's happened a lot more than we believe. And that's the difficulty as a sports bettor. When something happens that you think shady, it questions the result. And you never want that. Like, you always want to chalk it up to incompetence and not corruption as a sports bettor. But you'd be a fool to assume it doesn't happen. It does. And I would like to sit down and elaborate, just put a post up. Me and him had done a video back in the day about game fixing, because I was connected with the group that was working with Donahue that originally was fixing NBA games. So one day we will sit and talk about that. But let's get to today's action, because we got college football, NFL, NBA, UFC 321 pay-per-view coming up on Saturday. I got a 5% in college football, won a college football bet again yesterday. No surprise. But I did lose my first NBA game of the season, which is usually good luck, because I lost my first college football game of the season. And I don't think we've had one losing week since. So ready for today and ready for the big weekend. Big couple days for me ahead. I'll tell you that.
Well, let's start with the Steam report. You want to go to college football first?
Yeah, let's start with college football. And I'm just going to let it known, because most people watching already paid the $2, and they know that we are on the under tonight in South Alabama and Georgia State. And this is what you pay me for. I got you down on under 56.5. And if you look right now, it's as low as 54.5, with the under shaded at minus 115 at some shops. So we got a good bet in, and that's the most we could ask for. Now, hopefully, South Alabama and Georgia State go out there and give us a low-scoring game. As far as the side goes, it's all one-sided on the favorite. No surprise. They're not worried that South Alabama's on the road. They're laying the 6.5. They're money line, parlaying it, and they are even teasing it as well. But like I said, the total, Sharp, myself included, are on the under. That eliminates any risk of over money from the betting public, because they usually bet these primetime games over. So that's the report for college football. I'll roll into NFL real quickly, Andy, as well. Dogs have covered the last three, I think, on Thursday Night Football. So no surprise, we're getting good two-way action here. It's not one-sided favorite money with the home team on the Chargers. That's why it's still sitting at 3, where it was pretty much all week. They're just juicing a little bit, depending on how much risk each book has. They're juicing one side or the other. It's the over that is starting to pile up for the books. And it'll be interesting to see if this total climbs, because it was the look ahead that was 42.5. And the adjustment off the look ahead was like at 44.5. Since then, it's where it's at, around 44.5. So over money starting to come in from the recreational bettors, and it's going to be a wait and approach to see whether the line reflects that. And again, the look ahead from 42.5 did get hit up to 44.5, but since then it's kind of just been sitting there. Otherwise, we got NBA, brother, and I'll tell you real quick, Oklahoma City and Indiana getting over money. TV games, that usually happens. So you've seen that total rise. Usually the betting syndicates will get out ahead and bet the overs on these games, especially when the narrative is high scoring. But later in the day, pay attention as limits increase, credit shops to see if there's any take back the other way on the unders, because that first game is being hit by the public over as well. Two-way action on the side that I'm seeing. Nuggets, Warriors, we saw a flip of favorite. Warriors were the dog. They are now the favorite. That got a little bit of money at +1.5. Right now it's sitting at about 2. Haven't seen much else. Nothing on the total. 233.5, I think, is where it's open. That's where it's sitting. So high profile primetime games tonight in all sports.
Yeah, overs have been absolutely cash in the NBA so far. I mean, I went down the scores last night. It was like, oh my God, over. I'm going to break down OKC and Indiana. I actually like the under in that one. So,
do you like the under?
Just because of the war that OKC went to, and they're already sitting Caruso, Isaiah Joe is out, and Dort and the other guy, Wallace, is questionable. Those guys played 42 plus minutes the other night in their opener.
My sharpest out went up to 232 with everyone else, but he's at 231.5 while everyone else he's shaded towards the under.
I like the Pacers and the points, actually, in that one. I lean Pacers and the under on that one. It's not a client play, but my breakdown, that'll be what it was. So, all right, let's talk. Let's talk difference in betting styles. You and I started this UFC conversation, and it led to hilarious. All right, so let's talk the main event. Tom Aspinall, Ciryl Gane.
Yeah, and I have to say it sucks because this is what I do, and I have to go bet Ciryl Gane, and I'm going to lose that bet, and it happens a lot. And my handicap tells me that Aspinall is going to win this fight, but the value on the price forces me to bet Gane. It's kind of, I felt the same way with Sandhagen and Merab. When the fight was over, you had a lot of sharp bettors saying, well, the line was too high. Sandhagen shouldn't have been a 3-1 dog based on, how the fight played out, which, the fight could have played out different if they fought the next day. So I don't put a lot of stock in that, but it seemed to be more competitive than a 3-1 dog. With that said, like having watched the sport like I do, following it, knowing the matchup, if you put a gun to my head, I'm telling you, I'm betting Aspinall. Aspinall wins this fight. But as a sports bettor that looks for plus EV spots for inefficient lines, I think this is the perfect example of that. And you're paying for Aspinall potential more than credentials, because when I look, he was a 160 favorite against Blades in the first fight. In the second fight against Blades, he opened at -200. He was -115 against Pavlovich, 140 against Volkov. Now he's a -400 against Gane, who opened the favorite against the best mixed martial artist in the history of the sport, John Jones. And he only closed a +140. And I get it. Jones went across the octagon and beat him like it was a child. I don't think Aspinall is going to have the ability to do that to Gane. And don't forget, Gane was favored against Ngannou. Gane was almost a 4-1 favorite against Volkov, -350 against Derek Lewis. Like, again, Gane's won some big fights when you look at his strength of schedule, and getting this kind of plus money, I can't pass it up. But Aspinall's going to win the fight, and it sucks to do this.
And what I'm going to say? Bet Aspinall. Just bet on Aspinall by finish.
He's going to win inside the distance, of course.
I studied this fight upside down, inside out, and I just come back to that Ciryl Gane comes up short in the biggest moments. He should have lost against Volkov, and I had a bet on Volkov. We bet Volkov, and it was like, no, he did not win that fight. So anytime there's a huge fight, John Jones, he gets melted. Ngannou makes a stupid mistake in round 5, loses that fight. Shouldn't have beat Volkov. So I like Aspinall, and I like Aspinall by finish. I know it's a square play, but sometimes the square play.
It's not. Yeah. No. It doesn't make it square, man. It doesn't make it square just because he's the favorite. Again, he's the champ. And, 65% of the time, the champ exits the octagon still with the title. I just think, the price, and it forces you to kind of get creative and figure out how he's going to get it done. You know what I mean? And it's heavyweight fight, so it's kind of simple. If he wins, it should be inside the distance.
Yep, I agree. All right, we got Football Friday coming up tomorrow. Yanni's going to be joining us to break down NFL, college football, get you ready for the weekend. What do you have up for everyone tonight?
Indeed. I have my Saturday college football package up with the 5%. I don't have to tell you about this year's college football. You're probably already on board if you're betting college football. My NFL package is up as well. Got a handful of 4% plays in there. My UFC 321 package is up also. I have tonight's Thursday night college football game already in. That was our Tuesday play. But I am working on NBA and NFL to confirm. That should be up within 60 minutes. So check WagerTalk.com, and best of luck. Out of nowhere, 2 nights ago, the internet got bad here at Trump Tower when it was great. So I'm working on that. I just ordered some Wi-Fi, so I'll hopefully have that fixed within the next day or two. Forgive me for the Wi-Fi issues.
It's Vegas. It wouldn't be Vegas without Wi-Fi issues. It's just like it's part of the city. It's part of the charm, Gianni. So, Gianni the Greek, thank you very much. Good luck on your bets tonight, and we'll be back tomorrow with Football Friday. Thank you so much for joining us. All right, guys, we're going to be breaking down a bunch of games. I'm going to do same game parlay and some props for the Thursday night game. We'll break down Thunder at Pacers. We got to talk with Joe Raineri. We got a lot to get to with him. So, Joe, we were talking about, obviously, the betting scandal. I guess here's the fine line. What's the difference? It's information. Where's the line between sharing information? Like, oh, I happen to know this guy's hurt. Is that illegal? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Anyway, I'm still trying to figure out how this is an NBA scandal when it's a mob scandal. The entire
It's a
thing
mafia
was about the mob, and you drag the NBA into it, making it seem every headline I'm reading and I'm seeing is NBA gambling scandal. The dude was running an illegal poker game. It has nothing to do with the NBA, and everybody knew Rozier was doing what he was doing 2 years ago. And the NBA found him. Wow, they can't find that he broke any rules here, even though his foot really wasn't hurt. And he dropped out, and there were all sorts of bets on him. There is nothing. This was all about. The biggest story to me was how you had all 4 families in New York working together. I didn't even think the mob was still alive, but apparently it is, Andy, and apparently they're running illegal poker games. I don't know what the NBA has to do with this. I really don't.
I mean, it's a head coach of an NBA team. This is wild. Think about a head coach of an NBA team fixing poker games. Oh my God, it's bizarre.
If I'm Adam Silver, I'm going, who did I piss off in the FBI? Because that entire press conference was 45 minutes and everything was about the NBA when it should have been all about the organized crime. Unbelievable.
Well, the biggest winner out of all this is Steve Ballmer, because he's like, the heat's off me. I can kick back.
That's correct.
Now what I did doesn't seem so bad. It's
unreal.
Hilarious.
Just unreal.
Well, let's talk.
I can't find any Rozier props. I'm trying, man, but apparently they're no longer available.
Yeah, he's in jail. Dave Mason will probably. I got to get Dave Mason to put up a prop on Rozier. Like, what's over under how many months in jail?
You made $27 million a year here, and you apparently, they said 200,000 was what they made. That was his cut from whatever the prop money. 27,200,000. Like, what am I missing here, Andy? It doesn't make any sense to me.
I have known a lot of former Colts players, and not many of them have any money left. It's sad, but it's sad but true. It's sad but true. All right, well, let's talk about some specific games. Let's go to Thursday night. We get the Vikings and Chargers. Last couple Thursday night games have been a bloodbath for the favorites here. Interesting game here, but the difference is this is not a divisional matchup. The Rams, you had Rams 49ers, you had the Steelers and the Bengals. So we got the Chargers here at -3. There's some -3.5s out there. Over under sits at 44.5. How do you break this game down?
This is just, good luck here. First of all, you got a Chargers team, Andy, that comes in having lost 3 of their last 4 games. They should be 0-4, but somehow they figured out a way to get Miami to beat it's not that hard to figure out. But they were losing that game against the Dolphins, too. This is a team that can't run the ball. And because they can't run the ball and because of their offensive line issues, they have no red zone offense. They have one of the worst red zone offenses in the NFL. And so much for this Vikings vaunted defense also. And Brian Flores, they haven't had a turnover in over 3 weeks. They keep having to go out to the field because Carson Wentz keeps figuring out ways. He looks great on one play. and then turns the ball over to the next play or gets sacked. And nobody can get to the quarterback here on this Minnesota Vikings defense, which is leaving the secondary wide open for teams to take shots at. Hence, you just saw what happened here last week. And by the way, at least we're hoping that both the offensive line gets a little healthier for the Chargers tonight. Joe Alt's supposed to be maybe a game-time decision. Looks like he was trending to play. And hopefully the running game of Minnesota shows up because, I mean, what Taylor destroyed them. And a lot of teams have been destroying the Chargers defense up front there. Another team that can't stop the run. They're one of the worst in the NFL in stopping the run. When you put all of this together to me, I've got playmakers all over the places on the outside for both teams. I got defensive concerns on both teams. Give me the over, Andy. That would be the only way I would look at this game. I think we get more points than we get anything else in this game.
I'd have to agree with you 100% on that over. The Chargers have lost that edge on defense, and the Vikings, I don't even know if they really had it. You go look at some of I mean, who have the Vikings stopped?
Yeah,
Jake
nobody.
Browning?
They can't get a turnover. They can't get to the quarterback, which means they can't get any turnovers. So it's not a good situation right now with either team.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, I watched Carson Wentz when he was here for the Colts. There's something about Wentz that we don't talk about. He had a bad injury. I believe it was a concussion, and he has not been the same since then.
Yes.
I watched him here in Indianapolis, and there were plays that were just so mind-bogglingly bad. You were just like, what happened out there?
Yep.
So, all right, let's talk. Let's do Nuggets and Warriors here. We got a couple games tonight, some big ones. This is a monster game here. How do you break it down? Warriors, Nuggets, these two teams may meet here in the Western Conference playoffs, but what do we expect on Thursday night?
Well, I don't understand the market in this one, Andy, because well, I guess I do understand it because the public has been certainly betting teams like OKC laying 7 against Houston. Orlando's a big public favorite now. They were bet all the way up. And neither were able to cover those numbers. And now we're seeing Golden State take money. This thing is up to 2.5 points. Why? Why is it up to 2.5 points? The Denver Nuggets have dominated the Golden State Warriors. They've beat them 9 of the last 10 times that they've played them. I just watched the Lakers destroy the Golden State Warriors in the paint to the tune, I think, of over 60 points in that game inside the paint. What is the Joker going to do here tonight? Not to mention everything they did in the offseason was about getting depth. You remember how funny it was watching Denver? Every time the Joker went to the bench, we would bet the second quarter, right? Whoever they were playing, just bet them because that team fell apart the minute the Joker left the court. They don't have to worry about that anymore. They went out and got Vucevic. They got Cam Johnson now coming over from the Brooklyn Nets. They have got depth. They have got size. They're going to dominate in the paint. Call me crazy here. I'll take your 2.5, and I'll sprinkle on the money line all day long with the Denver Nuggets tonight.
I agree. I love this Denver Nuggets team. They did exactly what they needed to do, which is add depth behind Jokic. So this was a fantastic. Valanciunas is there, and yeah, you're right. It was laughable how bad they were. And
yes,
this is a team that Jokic just dreams of playing really, really well against. I'm with you. I don't understand the move at all. So
playing a bunch of 40-year-olds on Golden State. What are we doing here? It's. You know what's going to happen. There's a good chance Jimmy Butler won't suit up for this game. Al Horford will have, ankles swelled up. Come on, man. What are we doing here?
This 10 years ago, this team would have been dominant, Joe.
Phenomenal. Unbelievable.
Do you have any takes on the World Series Game 1? It looks like Snell's going for the Dodgers. And I love Blue Jays playing mind games. I love it. No, we're not announcing the starter. We're going to wait. Keep them on their toes.
I honestly don't think they have a clue. That's like the Jets. That's what Aaron Glenn's doing. I don't want to give the Bengals any competitive advantage here. We're going to, okay. Because I'm sure the Bengals are who do we prepare for? That's a problem. You got to be kidding me. No, I think that the Blue Jays were the one team that had a puncher's chance of getting it done here against the Dodgers. To me, it's all about, can they put enough balls in play? Can they get to that Dodger bullpen by the fifth inning, because I think that's the biggest weakness of the Dodgers is still that bullpen. But we haven't had to see it, Andy, because the starters all go 7 innings and strike out double-digit guys. So I don't think they'll have that same effect here. I like Toronto to get it in game 1. I think ultimately the Dodgers will win the series, but I think that I'm going to hold off, back the dog in game 1, and look to come back in on the Dodgers in game 2.
I think that's a smart way to go about it. And yeah, you're right. How do you beat the Dodgers? You gotta just bombs.
Got to get to the bullpen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
All right, great stuff, Joe Raineri. Tell everyone what you have up at WagerTalk. Tell us about best betting show ever.
Oh, God, that freaking thing. Yeah, thank God for art. And somehow or another, I got blessed not only with the Prez, but Brian Power now for some reason. Somebody gave him a link to log. It's just absolutely brutal. But it's a fun show, and it's a lot of great information on there, so you guys can check that out. 5% best bet, lock, loaded, ready to roll. College football on Saturday. We've got our Major League Baseball, a play for the NFL here tonight, as well as the NBA tonight. So a lot going on, but that 5% best bet ready to roll here this weekend in college football.
Go grab that WT.buzz/JR. Prez did it to me again the other day. It needs to be named after him. He called me, I said hello, and he said, I'll call you back. Yeah. That was the entire conversation. Hey, what's up? Fail. I'll call you back.
Without fail. Yes, without fail. Yeah. Yeah, the best betting show ever. It's great when he actually takes a phone call during the show. It's a lot of fun. It's great. Could you guys hold on for 1 minute? I'm super important. Hold on. I'll get right there. Brutal.
Well, tell Art and Prez I said hi, and good luck. Try to keep your wits about you. Joe Raineri, everybody. Great breakdowns. Thank you so much, Joe. All right, we got Dave Mason on the line. Let's bring him on. We got an action-packed day here. So, Dave, obviously the big story is this betting scandal. Have you had to deal with this? Have you ever had to deal with this? Any weird lines or anything, or you get weird information?
Not really. I mean, stuff. You get on the wrong side of information here and there, right? But sometimes, I mean, this seems to just be, progressing or whatever. This kind of stuff, I guess, with all the new books and the same game parlays and high limits on these same game parlays and everything. I mean, we protect ourselves. I mean, we've been around forever, right? And when it comes to props, I mean, they're just a different animal, right? So, it's a different animal of the bettors, and of course, you leave yourself open to being exposed on this kind of stuff too, especially not only just these guys rigging this stuff, but also with the last few years with all the load management BS, that stuff, is a pain in the neck for us, and these sharp bettors who just pay attention to that stuff and can beat us to it. And the next thing you know, they're betting unders and they're parlaying stuff and they're betting overs on the backups and they're parlaying that. So on and so forth. So, I mean, especially in the NBA, these props are a pain in the neck. Like late in the season, we're losing on these last year, but we put safeguards in it. So, we don't have our limits sky high on these kind of props. Where you just can't get the buyback if you're leaving yourself open to not only guys that are beating you to the information, but also inviting corrupt bets from the Terry Roziers of the world, allegedly. Then you're going to get killed on these things because there's just not enough public money on these. Even though there's a ton of public money on props and they're a growing market, it's still not like the big meat and potato spread total money line and stuff where you could just get so much public action to offset any wise guys and or crazy action. And it's easier for them to fly under the radar with this stuff too in the beginning, right? Because it's just the way that product is managed and run too.
Yeah, part of the hardest thing with me betting props these days is trying to get the right information just from the teams. I mean, like last night, I came on here and I said I really like Yabusele for the Knicks. They're pumping him up. He looks like he's going to get a bunch of minutes. He played 12 minutes. He
Right.
barely played. He took one shot. One shot. It was like, wait a minute. You guys hyped him up, said he was going to get a bunch of minutes, like a complete rope-a-dope. So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Good.
All right. So let's talk about like non-depressing things. Let's talk about some of these lines and where you're seeing some sharp action in. What do you see for college football and NFL?
Yeah, NFL, Chargers -2.5, Bears +7, Eagles -7. Those are the only big spread ones so far. It hasn't been a whole lot, to tell you the truth. Bears over 48, Giants over 42.5, Pats over 40.5, Broncos over 49 or fewer, Pitt over 43.5. College football sharp +26.5 or more, Baylor +4, UMass getting 16.5, Cuse getting 17.5, Michigan -14, Purdue getting 3, Wake getting 3, Sooners -5, Arkansas plus a point, Colorado getting 14, and Texas -7, and so on and so forth. Totals too many to mention.
How has the handle been on NBA to start the season, and how's it compared to years past? I feel like the NBA's got some pretty good momentum coming into this
Yeah,
season.
no, it's been very good. It's been great, to tell you the truth. We're only 2 nights in, but it's no complaints at all. NBA is a sport that people love to bet. It's a lot of months. It's different than college basketball. College basketball is like 4 seasons of betting. And that's what's starting next week or the following week. But NBA starts strong, and of course it really kicks into gear once football's out of the way too. But no, they big names. There's a lot of good young stars. So, and they always do a good job of staying in the news cycle. I guess today doesn't count, but But you know what I mean? They're always on the news cycle. It's stuff on ESPN and people are talking about this stuff, then people are betting it too.
Yeah, so there's that phrase, no such thing as bad publicity. Yeah, this might be bad publicity.
I don't know. I always argue with one of my marketing guys. He always says that, and I'll just say that I hate that saying. That's something they teach a marketing class in college, and I can list a zillion things that are bad publicity. But he and I have had countless arguments on that. He just will not give up.
Who are you rooting for in the World Series? I'm assuming there's quite a few Dodgers tickets out there.
Yeah, from a future standpoint, Dodgers are a loss. Actually, heading into the playoffs, they were a small win for us, and then people just started piling on them the last couple series. It's not a huge loss by any means. Blue Jays is a small win, so nothing too exciting from the series price, which is obviously highly correlated. It's going to go into the same, win-loss as the World Series futures. It's a small win-win either way. Game 1, the action is very even. The game 1, the action is very even too, but it's all the 90% of the action is going to pour in today and mostly tomorrow as well. And
finally, anything with UFC, big matchup, UFC 321 starts at 10 a.m. my time tomorrow. So I love these morning afternoon.
Oh, I love it. And my liver loves it too. Man. Because I like to go out Saturday night and watch the fight, but Sunday it's kind of hurting sometimes. But not a lot of sharp action yet. Rackets even, Klein -131, Rebecca +128, Park +225, Camilo -105. That's about it. Nothing too sharp. Not a lot of sharp action as of yet.
All right. Well, Dave, Dan and I are still alive in the BetOnline Survivor Pool. And,
everybody did after last weekend. Last weekend was lame.
Yeah. We had gotten cute on a couple picks, so we went chalk last weekend. We had the Chiefs and the Patriots. We're like, let's just get through this week and move on this week. And I'm on the top page in one of the pick
Look
5
mega
contests. Yeah, and I don't even do spreads, so I'm waiting for the bottom to fall out on that one real quick. So, but once again, great contest. Absolutely love them. Tell everyone what you have up for BetOnline.
Yeah, follow me at Dave Mason BOL on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. Come on over to betonline.ag. This is going to be a huge teaser weekend. I mean, you look at the Bengals -6.5, Ravens -6.5, Falcons -7.5, Bills -7.5, Eagles -7.5, Pats -7, KC -12. I mean, it's going to be a massive, massive teaser weekend. I just want to remind everybody that we're not charging -135 on a 6-point teaser like some of these newer books. We charge -110 to -115 on a 6-point teaser. So that stuff counts. So make sure you see how much your book is charging on those teasers, because that's going to define our weekend. We're going to need a couple of those teams that win outright to blow up teasers and money line parlays, and hopefully some survivor pools as well.
Yeah, you can't beat those lines. When they announced these new lines this year for teasers, I was like, this is criminal. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't, how are you getting away with charging that? So
yeah,
it's ridiculous.
There's hidden fees too that like 90% of the people just do not pay attention to. But if they refund a bet on some guy getting injured, they they're so great, and it's like, dude, they're killing you on the odds though, man.
Yep,
Look
absolutely. Absolutely.
Anyway.
Dave Mason from betonline.ag. Always great talking to you, Dave. Good luck this weekend. Have a good one. Can't wait to talk to you
appreciate
next
you.
week.
Take care.
All right. Yep. All right, guys, we're going to do all around the world, and then I'm going to break down the Thunder and my Indiana Pacers. We have our NFL props pack that is up, coming off a 6-4 week. I see a lot of you have already got that. Awesome. Thank you so much. Let's cash some NFL tickets. You get all props for the entire week. So starting tonight, Sunday, Monday, one pack, one price, all the props. I believe we've got 6 up there already, and anything that comes out, the more props that get released over the weekend, those will be included. We also have one UFC best bet that's up. That's all we're going to be playing. So it's all about NFL and UFC. Partner up with us. Let's make some money this weekend. Let's do it responsibly, but we're loving these NFL props, and we're loving the win percentage that we're at. So that's over at wt.buzz/AL. All right, let's do all around the world. This is all about tonight's game. The Chargers and the Vikings. Under the radar one here, Jalen Naylor over 15.5 receiving. He's gone over this in 5 out of 6 games. He's had 27 plus in those 5 games. He's a big play guy. He can do this in one catch, but if he gets multiple catches, he's probably going flying over this 15.5. I also like Carson Wentz over 21.5 completions. Last 3 games, he's flown over this 26, 25, and 30. I agree immensely with Joe Raineri that there's going to be points in this game. These defenses have been struggling. I think Herbert and Wentz both throw the ball quite a bit. And we'll focus on Justin Herbert in the same game parlay. We're going to take him to have 200 plus passing and 2 touchdown passes. And we'll throw the Chargers over 21.5 on the team total. The Chargers are struggling mightily to run the ball against decent teams. And Herbert's gone over 200 yards in 6 out of 7. He has 5 touchdown passes the last 2 games. Chargers D not playing good. And the Vikings defense gives up points to good offenses. So that's your same game parlay. That's paying out about plus 110. That is over at DraftKings. So, oh, nice. I see we got some agreement there. You laddered Naylor. Yeah, it's a sneaky one that you're getting some really, really good odds on. So I don't blame you at all for that one. Especially if he gets one long bomb. Oh, you cash all of them. So, yes, Dan brings up. Bam hit a 3, 1 of 5. The streak is over. The streak is now 26-1. That Bam Adebayo has hit a 3 against the Orlando Magic. I think it took 5. He took 5 attempts just to hit one of them. So, Titan says you would look at McConkey. Yeah, that's an interesting wide receiving core for the Chargers now. They got this new tight end that looks incredible. This might be one of the best, maybe the best receiving cores with Johnston, with Keenan Allen, all these guys. Yeah, it's pretty good. I wouldn't mind that look at all, Titans. All right, let's break down the Indiana Pacers and the Oklahoma City Thunder. We're looking at Oklahoma City at -7.5 with an over-under of 232.5. This is a brand new look from the Indiana Pacers. Nembhard is going to be at point guard, not Halliburton. Isaiah Jackson starting at center, not Miles Turner. Ben Shepherd, Obi Toppin, they're going to have to play big minutes off the bench. I'm from Indianapolis. I know this team well. I know this city well. I don't know what we're going to get from the Pacers across the entire season, but I do know this. Their coach is no nonsense, and this is not a coach or a team that has the mindset of tanking unless things get horribly bad. They are going to be hyped up tonight. The other thing is the crowd is going to be hyped up tonight. There is going to be an explosion of energy in this home opener for the Indiana Pacers. Now you go to the Thunder. They were in an absolute war just 2 nights ago. Dort and Wallace are questionable. They played 45 and 42 minutes on Tuesday. Carusa, Isaiah Joe, they're not going to play tonight. On paper, if both lineups are 100%, the Thunder perimeter defense is going to be way too much. Hartenstein and Chet should dominate inside with their size. But that double overtime game, this is a letdown spot for the Thunder, I think. And the fact is, they only scored 104 points in regulation. That total flew over, but it took a couple of overtimes. I think the Pacers have the motivation to show that they are going to be fighting. They may not win, but they are going to be fighting. The Thunder might say, you know what? This is not the game to go all out. We did that on Tuesday. We got the win. Let's just take it easy, not get hurt, and rest some guys. If they play slow, they play cautious. I think the Pacers can keep this close. I'm not saying the Pacers are going to win, but I do like this 7.5. I leaned to the under on this one, but I got to tell you, after watching so many games go over in recent nights, I'm not sure that I want to play that one, but I do lean to the under on this one. I know it goes against the line movement, but Oklahoma City, I just can't get over how much energy they used on Tuesday night. So for the official play on this video, it's going to be the Indiana Pacers plus 7.5 with a slight lean to the under. And again, we have our NFL Week 8 props pack that is up over at wt.buzz/AL. And if you could, please hit the like button, leave a comment below. Tell me what you like in tonight's game. Tell me if you agree with the Pacers or if you're on Oklahoma City. Thank you very much for watching. All right, guys, great show. And tomorrow, loaded show. You know it's Football Friday. Gianni's going to be breaking down the closing lines that we got for college going into Saturday. We're talking to NFL lines going into Sunday. Teddy and Marco are going to be here. Dan and I are going to talk about Survivor. We'll go over my pick 5. I did coming off a 3-2 week. I'm on the front page. I'm 3 points behind the leader, so I am chugging away in that contest. And don't forget, a week from tomorrow is Halloween. Dan, I got my Halloween costume already picked out. I already know what I'm going as for Halloween. I'm very, very excited. So, Joe, new member. Thank you very much, Joe. If you guys want to become a member, wt.buzz/insiders, get you access to some extra content. You get emojis and everything on our YouTube page. It's just $2.99 a month. Thank you very much, Joe, for joining. You get a $5 coupon at the beginning of each month. So, all right. Craig says line movement's going down on that game. Oh, look at that. Some people agree with me on the under. All right, guys. Thanks very much. And please hit the like button and leave a comment below in the comment section and get ready for tomorrow. Locked and loaded show. Let's have a big Thursday night. Good luck on your bets, and we'll see everyone tomorrow. Take care.